National Institutes of Health, which last year proposed to amend their mission statement to exclude the word disability, saying it, quote, could be interpreted as perpetuating ableist beliefs that disabled people are flawed and need to be fixed. Let me take this moment to go on record. Folks, if I am ever struck blind or deaf or paralyzed, don't praise me. Fix me. The woke think the #1 job is to protect homeless people from stigma. I think the #1 job is to protect them from rain. When Adele lost weight, she was excoriated for betrayal. To who? She betrayed the unhealthy?
So the left is outraged again, and this time the people they're trying to cancel are the ones actually working to fix the problems dragging society down. Yep, you heard that right. In the far-left universe, only they are allowed to be heroes. Everyone else is either a fraud, a hypocrite, or someone desperate for applause. Absurd, right? I thought so, and Maher clearly agrees. The outspoken comedian carved straight through the far-left's performative outrage, and honestly, it was comedy gold. Grab your popcorn because he didn't pull a single punch. Let's dive into this spectacle.
Post reporter tweeted, what truly needs curing is society's view of disabled people, and BuzzFeed agreed MrBeast seems to regard disability as something that needs to be solved. Okay, disability is something that needs to be solved. And what truly needs curing is blindness. Here's how I know this. The newly sighted people are cheering, not booing, because MrBeast, whoever the that is, just cured them and you didn't do. You know the expression or go blind? You didn't either.
Maher doesn't mince words. He jumps right in, full speed. No warm-up, no filters. He calls out a pattern everyone has noticed. The far left rarely lifts a finger to help anyone, yet the moment someone else steps up, they rush in to cancel them with Olympic precision. Their newest complaint? That someone doing good shouldn't film it for YouTube. But Maher fires back with the most obvious question. Where do you think the money for that good came from? From YouTube. Posting the videos isn't vanity, it's the funding model. And the irony is painful. If he had all the money in the world and chose not to help anyone, they'd still attack him. It's a lose-lose because their outrage has nothing to do with morality and everything to do with control. You simply can't please people who are committed to being offended.
Woke. They love nothing more than being a victim, except when they really are one, and then they tell you, I am not, go f yourself. Get this. Last month, MrBeast, in another dick move, funded the construction of 100 wells across 5 countries in Africa to provide clean drinking water to 500,000 people. Good thing, right? No. Not good, bad. The founder of a charity called Face Africa called it kind of frustrating that overnight this person comes along who happens to be a white male figure with a huge platform, and all of a sudden he gets all of the attention. Yes, but you know what else is frustrating? Dying of thirst.
Exactly. The woke left is perpetually offended and satisfied by absolutely nothing. MrBeast's work in Africa should be universally praised. Clean water, infrastructure, real change. Yet somehow an NGO is upset because they think he's stealing their spotlight. Really? If someone is doing the work you claim to be doing, shouldn't the logical move be to collaborate and amplify the impact? Instead, their reaction exposes the truth. They don't want MrBeast's involvement because his presence takes center stage. And with that spotlight goes the comfortable funding they've relied on. When the money dries up, so does their influence and control over the narrative. Their outrage isn't about ethics or effectiveness. It's about losing the story they want to control and the attention that comes with it.
Beast, how dare he come in and bogart digging the wells? That's so white guy, always taking fresh water and shoving it down our throats. Oh, another thing this asshole did in Africa was pay for the rebuilding of an African orphanage, which the director of the Hope and Homes for Children charity called it a classic case of white saviorism. So true. Ask any orphan to name the worst part of their life. Show-offs!
The more you think about it, the more shocking it becomes. Society's biggest problems were never going to be solved purely by governments or by the self-appointed heroes of the far left. Real progress has always depended on individuals, ordinary or influential, stepping in. That's exactly what MrBeast is doing. His involvement in Africa isn't some exaggerated case of white saviorism, despite what critics love to claim. It's a response to urgent needs ignored by governments for decades. Clean water, infrastructure, basic necessities, they aren't political props, they're human essentials. And when someone finally steps up, the focus should be on the lives improved, not on nitpicking motives. MrBeast isn't undermining anyone, he's filling a void that never should have existed to begin with.
How did we get to this weird place? Telling people who are actually out in the world making a positive difference, you're the problem. Yeah, quick question, who the are you? And this isn't only the media and the people on Twitter who exist to bitch, always finding something. He just did it for the clicks, or for the wrong reason, or he should have done more, or sooner, whatever. You signed X. No.
Maher's words sting like a bee, sharp, accurate, and impossible to ignore. And honestly, he's right. Who exactly are these far-left critics who think they hold the moral authority to judge anyone's kindness? It's laughable. They won't lift a finger to help, but the moment someone else does, they rush in to cancel, condemn, and complain. It doesn't matter how sincere the gesture is, they'll still dig for a negative angle, as if finding fault is their full-time job. According to them, every act of kindness must conceal a sinister motive, unless, of course, they are the ones doing it. Then it magically becomes noble, pure, and beyond criticism. Maher exposes that hypocrisy brilliantly. His message is simple. Altruism shouldn't be attacked just because it wasn't approved by one ideological camp. Good is good, no matter who does it.
National Institutes of Health, which last year proposed to amend their mission statement to exclude the word disability, saying it, quote, could be interpreted as perpetuating ableist beliefs that disabled people are flawed and need to be fixed. Let me take this moment to go on record. Folks, if I am ever struck blind or deaf or paralyzed, don't praise me. Fix me. Don't sit around talking about how much I'm just as good as you. Fix me. Do something. Use AI. Invent something.
Maher is right again, and he doesn't tiptoe around reality. People living with disabilities don't need performative speeches, shallow hashtags, or woke talking points that celebrate them while keeping them stuck in the same struggles. What they need is real support, medical care, accessibility, opportunities, tools that allow them to fully participate in life. Maher argues that empowering people to improve their situation isn't offensive, it's humane. Yet somehow the far-left outrage machine twists genuine help into an insult, as if offering someone a chance at a better life is an attack on their identity. It's absurd. True compassion isn't about praising people while leaving them trapped. It's about removing barriers so they can grow, thrive, and enjoy the same freedoms as everyone else.
You know, there's so much faking this time of year between the presents you don't want to buy and the presents you didn't want to get and the goodwill toward men that lasts until January 2nd. I just don't have room for, and disability is awesome. It's not awesome. And it's not a political affiliation. That's the problem. We turn everything into a political identity category. You're deaf, that's your identity. Don't mess up a good thing by hearing.
Maher's right. Everything has now been politicized to the point where even disability has become an identity label. Nothing is allowed to simply exist anymore. Everything must fit neatly into some political narrative. And we know where it started. On the left, where every issue became a branded identity. Homelessness, illness, immigration status, you name it, they had a label ready. Instead of focusing on real issues and real solutions, they turned everyday human experiences into ideological trophies. And now disability has been dragged into that arena too, treated like a political badge rather than a human condition needing empathy, resources, and practical action. Maher highlights how ridiculous it has become when common sense gets replaced by identity theatrics.
Adele lost weight. She was excoriated for betrayal. To who? She betrayed the unhealthy? The woke have even turned the homeless into a political identity group, as opposed to liberals, old school liberals, who just want to get them off the street, which now is seen as kind of judgy, like, don't disturb them in their natural habitat.
It's the same mindset that worsened California's homelessness crisis. Instead of backing meaningful solutions, treatment, shelter expansion, rehabilitation, and programs that actually reduce homelessness, the woke crowd fought every practical effort. When city officials tried to clear dangerous encampments, activists stormed in, shouting that the sidewalks in tent cities were the homeless population's natural habitat. The absurdity would be funny if the consequences weren't devastating. Leaving people in unsafe, unsanitary, dehumanizing conditions isn't compassion, it's negligence dressed up as virtue. By blocking real interventions in the name of ideological purity, they trapped people in the very suffering they claim to defend. They didn't help the homeless off the streets, they helped them stay on the streets. That's not empathy, that's enabling misery while pretending it's moral.
Life under the bridge. The woke think the #1 job is to protect homeless people from stigma. I think the #1 job is to protect them from rain.
The first responsibility of anyone claiming to care about the homeless is simple. Get them real help and get them off the streets. That's the foundation. Once they're safe from violence, disease, drug triggers, and the exhausting daily grind of survival, then you talk about dignity and reducing stigma. But trying to protect them from stigma while leaving them on the streets? That's completely backward. It's putting the cart so far ahead of the horse that the horse can't even see it. Keeping people in tense and dangerous encampments just to appear compassionate isn't compassion at all. It's moral posturing. True care addresses root issues, mental health, addiction, unemployment, lack of support systems, and helps people reintegrate into society. Anything less is just pretending to help while the suffering continues.
The Ice Bucket Challenge back in 2014, I thought I was helping the cause of funding research to cure ALS. Wrong again. An op-ed in Time magazine said the Ice Bucket Challenge even seems to be suggesting that being cold, wet, and uncomfortable is preferable to fighting ALS. It was suggesting no such thing. What is wrong with this country that so many people can't be happy for anything for even a second?
Maher is absolutely right when he says woke culture has become a pack of wet blankets, always ready to smother anything that brings joy, progress, or inspiration, especially if they're not the ones orchestrating it. If they're not involved, suddenly it's problematic, offensive, or worthy of cancellation. It's almost comical how predictable the cycle has become. Everything is wrong unless it comes from their ideological side. They've turned nitpicking into a competitive sport, acting as if they're the sole guardians of morality and everyone else is clueless.
Maher calls out this hypocrisy with sharp precision, pointing out how the woke crowd doesn't just dislike things they didn't create, they actively try to shut them down. Instead of celebrating good deeds, humor, or human progress, they're busy finding new angles to be outraged about. In the end, Maher exposes a clear truth. The woke movement isn't about progress or compassion, it's about control, outrage, and ideological gatekeeping. From attacking people who actually help others to politicizing disability, homelessness, and altruism, their moral posturing undermines real solutions. Joy, common sense, and genuine generosity are only acceptable if they come through their approved channels. Everything else is nitpicked or canceled. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.